Well, hey friends, I'm getting ready for the day. I have a lot on my to-do list at home, just some chores, if you will. So I figured it was an appropriate time to do another episode of my chores and chats, as I lovingly call them sometimes, when I remember to. It is a laundry day for me, and by me, I mean me and Tyler, because we do our laundry like together. I'm always fascinated after talking about how people keep separate bank accounts and having that discussion, which I thought was so interesting. Like if you're in a long-term relationship, like you're married, whatever, and some people have a joint bank account and some people don't. That discussion was so interesting. If you want to hear my thoughts on that, I will link the video where I talked about it. I feel like the conversation is similar with like laundry. As silly as it sounds, like people that keep separate laundry from their spouse versus doing it together. Like I'm fascinated by this. Anyway, all of that to say, it's laundry day. I finally got my laundry under control, I feel like, which is so nice. I know some of you guys that have been around a while been with me in my laundry woes as I put on my sunscreen. It's a super gray, very cold day. It's been so up and down, which I feel like is March. Like that's March. It's still winter technically, but it's almost spring, you know, all of that. But today's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be productive. We're gonna get a lot done. We're gonna chat and hang out together. I hope it inspires you to be productive if you're feeling like you're kind of in a little bit of a, I don't know, lull. I get it. So I also have Sweet Felicity with me, so we'll see how much we can get done today. She's not awake yet, so that is nice. I'm using this Wet n Wild niacinamide skin tint I have still been loving. It's so good. I know this lighting is hilariously awful. I also need to kind of declutter a bit of my clothes. I feel like I've been paying attention the past year of like, what are those things I've been holding on to for so many years that I'm like, why am I, you know what I mean? So we might tackle a little bit of that, like a little mini declutter of the closet, just pulling out those, what I call in my mind, sore thumb pieces that I know I have not worn in years. And I'm probably not gonna wear, and just some realizations I've had in regards to that I hope will help you guys. I'm just getting through the March blahs. We are so close to spring. I feel like I talk about it in every video, but anyone that's got seasons, you know how it is. We are like at that point where we're like, it's so close. Like we are so close. Pinocchio woke up in the middle of the night and was licking the walls. That dog is 10 years old, nearly 9.5. He's like, hey, don't prematurely age me. I'm like, what is that noise? And so I get up and like get my flashlight on, you know, and he is literally licking the walls. I'm like, what is going on, bud? And then he's licking the furniture. I'm like, so of course I'm looking it up, you know, and it said it could be like stomach upset because it's not something he does all the time. Like it's not like an anxious thing or anything like that. So I think his tummy was upset. He stole a homemade meatball. So my guess is his tummy was upset because that was one of the things. He hasn't done it since and he's been fine. So I took him out. He went outside, got some fresh air, drank some water, you know. But anyway, it was so weird. Have you ever experienced that with your dog? Anyway, all right, I'm gonna finish getting ready. Wanted to pop in to thank today's video sponsor, which is Oak and Luna. If you have been around for a while, my #1 necklace that I have worn all of the time is one that is actually from Oak and Luna. So this is a very organic sponsorship because I've loved that necklace for so long. So I'm excited to be working with them. I actually just got a new piece in. So this one is silver and I have been loving silver jewelry lately. I got my 2 girls' initials. If you don't recall the other necklace, I'm gonna show you a clip of me wearing it. You'll recognize it because I wear it so often. That was actually a gift from my husband Tyler for after I had my second baby, Felicity, who's now, oh my gosh, 3. So I have had that necklace for 3 years. I have worn it so often and it looks as good as new. So the thing I love about Oak and Luna is they are very high quality. They have a 2-year warranty. First of all, they have so many different options to really personalize your necklace and make it your own, especially if you're wanting a piece that you can just wear every single day, all of the time. I feel like that's always what I'm looking for. And Oak and Luna has been that brand for me, which is amazing. So you can personalize it by choosing names of people you love, their initials, engravings, and then you can also add a diamond if you want. You can choose between gold, vermeil, or silver. So there's so many different ways that you can make it your own. Like I said, I'm loving this new silver piece. I feel like this is gonna be in heavy rotation for me. Oh. I'm realizing silver, I think with my skin tone actually looks a lot better than gold. So I've been dabbling. I know a lot of you guys know. But I also love that they offer free shipping. They've got free returns and they stand by their product. They really are such high quality. And I think the other thing I've realized I love about Oak and Luna, the necklaces always catch the light in just the right way. Do you know what I mean? Some necklaces you get, you just feel like they're not really looking the way you see other people when they're wearing a really pretty necklace. These always catch the light in the most beautiful way. The gold one does too. This would be an amazing Mother's Day gift if you wanted to ask for one a little ahead of time, but just a gift to yourself in general. So if you want to try Oak and Luna and try the best customizable jewelry that I have found, you can use my code, which is JessB20, to get 20% off and free shipping. I'll have that link in the description box and in a pinned comment for you. Thank you so much, Oak and Luna, for supporting my channel and being a sponsor of today's video. Alrighty, we just had some breakfast. I wanted to show you. I keep seeing this like glow in this room. I'm like, what is that? Oh yeah, it is this arrow garden I got for Tyler a couple years ago. I think we forgot about it last year. It was like down in our basement when we weren't using it. But you can use it year round, which is amazing. It's like a little grow light. So we've got herbs growing in there. So we just got it started, but it's going to be so nice to have. We've got basil, thyme, oregano, dill, parsley, and cilantro. So hopefully in a few weeks, we'll have something going there. Hi, handsome boy. Hi, cutie. He said, I'm feeling better. I'm back up to my old shenanigans. Are you the best boy? Are you the bestest boy in the whole wide world? Yes. Remember when I complained about gray days recently? We are having the sunniest day. I promise I'll stop talking about the weather when it stops messing with my moods. All right, I've got like lunch stuff to clean up. Felicity is napping and she fell asleep. I wore that kid out. We were playing hard. I've got 2 mugs of coffee from this morning. I don't know how I do it. Even my 2-year-old noticed. She said, where's your Mickey cup? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I've got a new cup. I don't know. So I'm gonna get some dishes done while we chat. As I said, we are being productive. So I was watching this video this morning and the person, it's not someone I've typically watched, but you know, it was fed to me in my algorithm. And she was talking about how, like, who would you be if it weren't for social media? And not just like, you know, maybe we wouldn't all be following the same trends or whatever, but who would you be and how would you spend your life if it weren't for social media? And that really got me thinking about how, I mean, obviously for me, it's really convoluted because this is also my job. So not only do I experience social media as a consumer, as you do, but I'm also creating it. So for me, I you know, it's weird and it's nearly impossible to compartmentalize. But that aside, just as a consumer of social media content is kind of how I'm viewing this. It is kind of crazy to think about, like, what would I be doing? Like all of the hours, if you look at your screen time, if you want to feel scared, go look at your screen time. Take a minute, look at your screen time. You look at your screen time and let's say you were really good and your screen time is only like an hour and a half. Still, let's say you were amazing, you don't look at your phone very often, you've only looked at it for an hour. Which you might not think like an hour sounds like a long time. Look at your screen time and then come back. An hour every week is 7 hours. What's 7 times 52? Alexa, what's 7 times 52? Hello, Alexa, what's 7 times 52?
7 times 52 is 364.
Okay, what's 364 divided by 24? Am I doing this right?
364 divided by 24 is approximately 15.1667.
So if you were on your phone for only an hour a day, and when you put that into the context of 1 year, you have spent 15 days of that year on your phone. And that's only if you're doing an hour a day. So if you were doing 2 hours a day, that's a month of that year. Oh my gosh, that can't be right. That's like actually really scary. That can't be right. I gotta check that math. Hold on. It's like a word problem. There's too many. Okay, hold on. 1 hour a day times 365. Okay, why was I making that so difficult? So then divide that by 24 hours in a day. So that would tell us, yeah, that's 15 days. So then, yeah, if it was 2 hours, it'd be double that. So yeah, oh my gosh. Does that not just literally break your heart that makes me feel so deeply sad. But the thing is, this person was describing it in the most interesting way. She was like, every time I try to break away and break this habit of being on social media so often, I get to this point where it's almost as if I know how to solve the problem. Like, we all know how to solve this problem, but we just can't do it. It's an addiction. It's an addiction. She described it as, you're looking at this field across the way, and over there, everyone's like at peace and happy, and they're doing things they love, hobbies, you know, spending time with their kid, you know, whatever it is. And you're over here like under this dark cloud, like polluted with all these things going on, like candy everywhere, games, noises, like, and you so long to be over there, but you know, all you have to do is just walk over there, but you just can't do it. You're glued to your seat. And it's such an interesting way to think about it. And I feel like, I'm not trying to be depressy here, okay? Let's take a few steps back. We live in the world we live in, and I know some people go off the grid, and that is incredible. Hold on, I'm gonna bring you over here so I can do these. But it's also not totally doable for everyone. Like, so many of us have jobs, that just involve our phones or our computer. Like, even when I was teaching, it involved computers. I mean, come on. So it's not that like I want to walk away completely from social media. It's just that I want to feel like I have control. And I think when we're dealing with like addictions, and my screen time's not crazy, but it's certainly more than an hour a day, it makes me so sad to think about how much time we are wasting. And like, on my deathbed, I'm not going to be thinking about or remembering anything that I was doing on my phone at any point. Like, I'm going to be remembering like those times that I was playing in the backyard with the kids, or doing something I loved, or reading I don't know that I'll be thinking about reading a great book, but maybe thinking about the books I've read, whatever. So anyway, just a little food for thought. I don't have any answers here other than I really want to try to be more cognizant again. And I feel like every few months I go through these hills and valleys where I'm so much better. I'm leaving my phone in the other room or turning it off from like a big chunk of hours, so I'm not even tempted. But then you slip into old habits. I mean, it is so easy to get those dopamine hits from opening up Instagram or YouTube or whatever your poison is. TikTok, I don't know. Anyway, okay. Enough about that, all right? Enough. We are getting to the point where I feel like kid dish wise, we need to, like, we still have some like smaller like sippy cups that Felicity she doesn't use though. I mean, you know, she can use regular cups with no lid, and then we of course have like the little like thermosy, you know what I mean, this cup with a straw for school and stuff like that. So and just general life. So I'm like, I need to go through those and declutter them, get rid of some that we don't need. Boy, when you have kids, the amount of cups and dishes and like things you end up acquiring are so silly. When in reality, like, especially past a certain point, they can just use your dishes. If you have a more wild child that likes to throw things, you don't want to give them your dishes that are, you know what I mean? So anyway, I'm not saying anything that no one doesn't know. What am I saying? I don't know. Is this thing on? Do you guys do anything for St. Patrick's Day? So I'm Irish by blood. From both sides. I did like a 23andMe, and I don't remember the exact percentage, but it was high. It was like 80% Irish. I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I feel like growing up, I don't remember if we always did this on St. Patrick's Day, but my favorite Irish food, oh my gosh, is corned beef hash. Oh, just corned beef, please. It is so good. Now, corned beef hash is even better, but the taste of corned beef, if you've never had it, oh my gosh, it is so good. But Tyler loves to do like Guinness stew, like Guinness beef stew. And I feel like that's what we've done the past few years. And he mentioned it the other day. He was like, hey, let's do it again. And I was like, I kind of want to do corned beef. So I might push that, because we can't do both. Both in the same day is just too much meat, quite frankly. By the way, for those curious, when you saw my grocery haul in a previous video, I did end up freezing the steak. Some of you guys were dying that I was like, can you freeze steak? I think I knew you could. Like, I've frozen all kinds of ground meat and all this, but it just seemed wrong, because I'm like, man, like fresh steak is so good. But I did freeze it. We will use it. Yeah, it was just kind of funny. Your guys' reactions, like, Jessica, oh my gosh, of course you can freeze steak. Today for lunch, Felicity and I had chicken and some sweet potatoes. That kid loves sweet potatoes, which is amazing because I do too. And we had a ton that we roasted the other night left over, which makes for great lunches, as I always say. And then she had some fruit. So that was what our lunch was, and it was really good and pretty darn filling if you eat enough of the chicken and the sweet potatoes, you know? So this is my closet. I don't show in here often, honestly. I definitely have probably a couple things I can weed out. When I'm in a decluttering mood, I always feel like I want to like do the whole thing, like take everything out of the closet, like do that whole thing. But honestly, I was just kind of doing a quick glance and I'm like, winter clothing wise, like long sleeves and sweaters, I actually was going through and I'm like, okay, I actually do wear all of this. Like, you know what I mean? Through the winter, I've found times when I wear it, I really like it. I like the way it fits, whatever. But I think what I need to go through are my dresses, because dresses are one of those things that I love. I actually wear dresses quite a lot, especially in the warmer months. But I don't feel like when I have a special occasion, I'll keep dresses because I'm like, oh, if there's a wedding, I could wear this or whatever. And I definitely have one dress I have worn to multiple weddings I would keep because I do wear it to weddings. But a lot of times if it's a special event, I want to get a special dress for it. You know what I mean? Like, for example, last summer we took a big trip for a wedding really far away. I was obviously wanting to get a special dress for that occasion, so I did. And so I feel like a lot of the times I hold on to things for that fantasy self or for a special occasion. When those things arise, I want to treat myself to something new, or you know what I mean? So I don't always go digging for those things. So I'm going to go through my dresses, see if I can pull out a few that I just don't feel like I've worn in the past few years, or it really just does not fit me the way I want it to fit me. Okay, this is a good example. This dress I got long ago. Well, I mean, probably a couple years ago. I love the color, but every time I wear it, the cinch, there's something about the way it's cinched in, and I actually tend to like that kind of a style. But the way it's cinched in, it's so tight, it's really uncomfortable. And so I find myself every time I wear it not feeling good in it, not feeling comfortable, whether I'm standing, sitting, either way, it's not comfortable. So I'll pull up the thing or I'll pull it down. Like, I can never feel good in this. So I wore it, I want to say last summer to church at one point. And that was kind of my last straw where I was like, why do I keep forcing this dress? So I really, really like it, but I think I'm going to pass it on. I think maybe someone that was thinner here, it might not dig in as much. So I'm going to donate, or I might even ask one of my nieces I feel like would actually fit comfortably in this. So might pass this on to her. This is one of those pieces that every time I look in my closet and I see my dresses, I see this one and I'm like, so this is going to feel good to get rid of. Okay, two more pieces I pulled out. I have two pairs of like trouser pants. And these are ones I got for super cheap, and they're not great quality, but not only that, they ride up weird. And the other ones are just better. They're more comfortable. This one doesn't have actual belt loops, and the other ones do. And I feel like with that kind of pant, if I'm wearing it, I do want a belt. So that's an easy pass. And then this, I think is so cute, but again, it never looks the way on me that I want it to look. I've worn it with like a white shirt, and I don't know. I'm at that point where I'm like, I feel like it's too soon to get rid of it. I've only tried it a couple times, but I just don't know that I always love the way I look in it. So I'm like, do I wait and maybe this summer give it one last shot? Maybe that's what I'll do. This summer, as it gets warm, give it one last shot. And if that time I'm like, no, I really don't like it, I think maybe that's it. Because I don't want to give it up too soon. I feel like I just got it last year, but it just never quite looked on me, like I said, the way I wanted it to. This is one I'm torn on because it is literally one of my favorite dresses I've ever owned. It's on Amazon. I can link it below if you're like in the market. But I feel like this color pink does not look great on me. But I wear it all the time. So it's like, do I really care? Like, does it matter? It really, at the end of the day, and I know this, at the end of the day, how I'm feeling in it is what matters. And I feel lovely in this dress. What I should maybe consider in the future, not right now, I'm like literally talking about decluttering clothes, but is maybe getting a different color, because I love the cut of this dress so much. I find myself wearing it like every other week in the spring and summer, not just to church, but just to a backyard barbecue. I don't care. I love dresses. So this is not going well. I've already looked through all my dresses. I'm like, I want to keep them all. So I think I will be due soon for like a full blown, like pull everything out kind of thing. Not filming it, but just for myself, like to really see what I've got, because I feel like with the constraints of where I have the dresses, it's so tight, it's hard to even see. I just pulled out a sweater dress that I remembered loving from previous years. And I'm like, where was this? It was sucked into there, pushed all the way to the back. So that would be one reason I really need to go through it. And maybe even do kind of like what I do for my shirts and stuff. I'll put away spring and summer things during the winter. So maybe I'll go through my dresses and like put away the winter ones, store them while it's not the season. So we'll see. At least that would free up room so I can see what I've got, and then vice versa. This is just such a sunny room. I usually would fold like in my bedroom, but the sun is streaming in so beautifully. I was like, this is the room I want to be in. We've got our couch here, obviously, and we have these little side tables we've had for years, but we'd like to get, you know, those ones that are like, where you could like put your laptop at and work, but it would like kind of slide. It's small, simple, but it kind of slide where you want it, and then you can kind of slide it back. I mean, I guess it's a simple table. I have something in my mind, but I don't know how to find it. Like, you know, when you can't think of search terms, like otherwise I would just do like reverse Google image search something, but I can't do that with something in my mind. Like, when will that technology exist? Speaking of technology, I feel like more and more, I mean, but more and more I'm hearing people like, oh yeah, you know, I use ChatGPT or I use AI to meal plan for me or whatever. And I'm like, what? These are ways that I've never thought to harness the power of AI. Honestly, AI still just completely freaks me out. I've tried to use it like once or twice for different things, and it's never been quite what I wanted, and so I just gave up. But I'm like, dude, the day that it is what I want, though, is going to freak me out even more, because it's like, no, you shouldn't be this good at this. You know what I mean? I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? I think the way I want to use it, and maybe I'll do this in a video, is to be like, okay, I want you to plan 4 dinners for me this week that are all healthy, one of them including chicken, one of them including chickpeas, one of them including fish, you know what I mean? And just see what it comes up with. But my question is AI like looking at the reviews? Like, I don't want you to, I can look up chicken recipes all day, but I want to find like the best of the best. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like I definitely did. I spent a little bit of time going through Felicity's room and getting a bag of things to donate, some things that were just trash. But I'm definitely hitting that point. And if you have kids, maybe you can advise me on like how you felt about it. Like, I've always placed value on toys that they can play with and be imaginative with in multiple ways. So like things like blocks or like magnetic tiles, things like that. And I do think, however, there's a place for those like one-off toys that they just love. But I feel like somehow we are consistently getting into the house, whether people are giving it to them like little prizes and little thingies, tchotchkes, whatever. Like, we went to an arcade recently, and so guess what the prizes were? A bunch of little things that after a day they're not going to be thinking about or using or playing with. I mean, heck, after an hour they're not even like thinking about. And so I feel like those end up piling up, and once a year, maybe twice a year, I'll go through their little toy baskets, and all of those just get donated. And I feel like there's no way of preventing it, because it just keeps coming. Like, all those little toys and thingies and whatevers, it's just, and I mean, it's, Genevieve's gonna be 7 for 7 years, you know? Like, it just never ends. And so I had just seen a thing about like Easter baskets, and I'm like, gosh, is it already? I'm like, hey, we've got time for Easter. But just trying to think through, like, you know, the things they may get in an Easter basket and what might be nice for them to get that would actually be useful and what might not be. So I don't know. I'm just thinking about it. I try to watch what I say when I'm talking about, you know, holidays and things like that. People are like, what are you talking about? If you have kids in the room. Does that make sense? Okay. Anyhoozle. So we'll see what the Easter Bunny brings this year. Hopefully useful stuff. So I got a question in asking, and this isn't the first time we've been asked it, but like, how did Tyler and I keep the spark alive? And I mean, I don't have like a perfect answer. We try to go on at least a monthly date night. And I really do think that carving that time out, getting a sitter for the kids. Like actually our date night is literally tomorrow. And so Tyler's brother Jason, Funkle Jason as they call him, is coming over, and the girls are so excited and they get the gift of time with him. He gets the gift of time with them. Tyler and I get the gift of time with each other. And I think it can be really hard to, whether you have kids or not, I just feel like in living life, it can be hard to be intentional with your time when it comes to your significant other. So like with kids, it's obvious, like, oh yeah, because you're busy with the kids and it's bedtime and it's whatever. And then you have like an hour or two after bedtime, and then that's that, and you get on the hamster wheel again. But I think even if you don't have kids, just, you know, going to work, keeping the house clean, having dinner, it's all the same kind of stuff where it's like, you suddenly realize like, gosh, we have not had intentional time together where we just talked or played a game together or whatever it is that you'd want to do with them. I feel like that's so important, and no matter what's going on in your life, it's important to try to actually intentionally carve out that time. And it doesn't have to cost money. You don't have to leave the house. You can, like I said, play a game, make a special dinner, order in. I guess that would cost money, but you know what I'm saying. There's so much you can do. It's just that the intentionality behind it has to be there for it to actually, I think, be meaningful. Thinking about our conversation earlier, like the evening time, I feel like for all of us is that time where, what do you end up doing in the evening? I can tell you, we all probably sit on a couch and watch our shows, catch up on our shows, and then maybe scroll while you're doing it if that's your thing. Maybe have a sweet treat, and then you get ready for bed and go to bed, don't you? Me too. And I have had this feeling where I'm like, why is this, like, I want to reclaim our evenings. Like, why is this the only thing we know how to do? And it's because we're wired to do it. And I do love the shows we watch. Like right now we're watching Gilded Age and White Lotus. And I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to watch shows and stuff, but I'm like, why does it feel like this is how every night has to be? Do you know what I mean? Like, why does it feel like that time is not mine, it's the TV's time? And so I want to reclaim that and be better about like not always assuming that is how the night has to go after bedtime, the kids' bedtime, that I am capable of telling the TV no and doing something else. So I don't know. Are any of you guys feeling that way? I think part of it probably too is that we're starting to slowly come out of winter. And so in the winter time, I mean, you're kind of hibernating in a way. And I feel like I really get into that habit. So I'm wanting to break some of those bad habits, because it's not even that I necessarily want to be productive in the evening. Like there's always going to be dishes to do. There's always laundry to do. But even just doing something I just enjoy outside of TV. Like, can I paint? Can I go read? Because the only time I'm finding time to read is when I'm in bed and I'm literally falling asleep. And I have been reading, you guys, I have been reading Onyx Storm, which is the second Fourth Wing book, for forever. I have been reading it for what feels like months, because I read like 3 pages and I'm so tired that I fall asleep. I'm like, why don't I ever use that time in the evening, get the kids to bed, and instead of sitting and watching TV, take an hour, grab a cup of tea, and sit like on the couch with a lamp and read. Like, and some of you guys maybe are giggling because you're like, Jessica, I do that all the time. I don't, and I need to make some changes. So I'm sure I'm not alone. Let me know if you are feeling the same way. Like, do you feel like your nights are the same over and over again? And if not, or if you've broken out of that cycle, how did you do it? Like, did you just pick a couple nights a week? Like, okay, 3 nights a week is going to be TV night, whatever. And then 2 nights a week are going to be me nights or us nights, whatever that is. Anyway, I'm just brainstorming, but I'm feeling inspired, and I want to kind of harness that while it's on my mind, One question that came through that just made me giggle was, who do I envision that I'm talking to, like on the other side of the camera? And that question came through actually a couple days ago. I have been thinking about it. I don't know. Because I don't think it's that I envision like a specific person, but it does feel like a level of a relationship that I'm really comfortable in. But I also know that, and this is the thing, I feel like my mindset changes often. in that like there are times where if I feel like I've read a lot of negative comments or whatever, I will feel like I'm talking to the negative people. And I'll find that when I've got that kind of mindset, I'm so careful about my words. I'm always apologizing or over explaining so that they don't misconstrue. And then I'll go through cycles like right now where I have more of a positive mindset, and I feel like I'm talking to those of you that maybe have been around a while, or maybe you're new, but you're vibing with me and we're becoming friends and whatever. And I don't feel that need, kind of like a best friend, right? Where I don't feel that need to over explain or apologize. I feel free to just kind of live my life and film it for you guys and share it with you, and you can take it or leave it. Take it as it is, you know, love me, hate me, whatever. But yeah, so right now I'm in a more positive mindset. But yeah, I don't have like a specific vision of who I'm talking to, but it is such an interesting thought. And ever since I read that question originally, I have been thinking about it. And I don't know, I should ask Tyler the same question, like if he has someone or something in mind. But the mindset of who the audience is definitely prevalent and definitely changes for me. I kind of go through hills and valleys with that. I hope you enjoyed this little chill chores and chats today. I certainly enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Definitely subscribe if you haven't yet. I'd love to chat with you guys in the comments. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, whatever, let me know down below. Stick around, of course, for more videos. Thank you to the sponsor of today's video, which is Oak & Luna. I just absolutely love their pieces. So if you want to get 20% off and free shipping off of their customizable, personalized pieces in gold, silver, vermeil, you can really make it your own. You can use my code, which is JessB20, to get that 20% off and free shipping. Thank you to Oak & Luna. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and watching this video, liking, commenting below. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.